Hello, this is Brian with another Let's Mod Natural Selection 2 video. In this video we're going to be going over how to create your own main menu mod. I have made a few main menu mods already. First one was Gorge Race and the latest one was Fauche. And this is what I did. As you can see, it has a different 3D background, has some characters in it animating, and well, they're actually not really moving, but you know, they're there. And there's different font, there's different color for these textures. Some of this stuff has changed too. Not all of it's really that great, but I only spent like about an hour on it. But you can see it's got like a different background, like it's got like a noise in the background, and it's got a different scanline action and a different title, and all of that was fairly easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. So first I should just go ahead and exit this and switch over to my screen and close that and that, and I'm going to be pretty much working in Fauche for this video instead of Gorge Race, but that's because it's pretty much the latest one I did, and I did the most with it. The Gorge Race one is just a different 3D background with a cinematic and a different title. This one has cascading style sheets being updated, and as well as different font and some more fun stuff with the 2D UI stuff. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to get a map, because we want to set up that 3D background. So I've already, I have a map ready. This is using the embassy map for Fauche, and that's the main map. And what you want to do is you want to get your map and you want to strip out everything that isn't a light or a static prop or a model that you want, or your level geometry that you want to keep, that you're going to have for your 3D scene. So notice how I've taken out this room, I've taken all the exterior out, and there's no spawners and no other entities, and that's just to keep the file size low and make it so that it loads as fast as possible, because you don't want to have like the entire mineshaft map being loaded in order to have your main menu. So that's what you want to do, and save it to your map source folder in your mod. Mine is, for this case, we use Michelangelo as the name of the mod because we didn't have a name before we started the file structure, and then we put it here in the map source folder. I'm naming it menu.level. You can name it whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. If you name it menu.level, it will overwrite the menu.level that you have on your Natural Selection 2 files. So that's fine. Let's go ahead and save that, place it, and close. And now what we're going to want to do is set up a cinematic. And this one is also very important to name correctly. This is more important than the other one. This one you want to save in your mods source folder in the cinematics folder. So directly in the cinematics folder you want to name main_menu.cinematic, and that's what you want to do. So I'm going to open up what I have. Oh, I guess I'm saving what I have. I'm going to open, not override it. And this is using the full embassy map, because I didn't actually set it to use the new map. And I'm going to go ahead and change things around just because for this demonstration, and maybe I'll even save it so that when we publish this mod it'll update it, but I'm not really sure if I want to do that yet. So as you can see, I've got these guys huddled over here in the corner. We got a camera in the cinematic. I've added an extra light. You can add extra lights, but otherwise it'll bring in all the lighting from the level itself. You can see it did not bring in the skybox. What we want to do is we want to change the level of this cinematic to my new menu level. So I'm going to hit this little house button, and this is pretty much where you want to start. You want to start by setting the level. So I'm setting the level to ignore all those names. My embassy level, which has made everything disappear. Oh, wait, did I say that in the right maps? I think the problem is that I didn't actually build it yet with builders, so I'm gonna have to do that first. So I'm gonna close that real quick and run builder, then run build, and it outputs the menu level that I need. So run back into the cinematic editor and open that file again, and then we're going to set the level to maps menu, and now there we go. So now it has loaded the correct level. So I still have all these dudes over here, but I'm just going to delete them because I'm going to make new ones for you so you know how to do it if you wanted to do something like this for yourself. We can keep this camera. So, well, okay, I guess we're going to show you how to do it from scratch. So I'll just delete everything. I even had this little random prop here, which is difficult to select for some reason. There we go. Selection box does not match up. I don't know what this is doing down here. We're going to delete them. So, yep, I pretty much have a fresh main menu scene. I could have just, I guess, started a new one, but that's fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and create a camera, because that's going to be probably the most important part. If you don't have a camera, it's just going to be staring off into blackness, and it'll create a default one, I think, in the origin, which is not what you want, I hope. And then we're going to move the camera. So you can actually, by right-clicking, you can pretty much just fly around in the camera like you had a jetpack or something. So I want to position that where I need, exactly where I want it. I think that looks good. Maybe zoom in a little bit. Yeah, we'll just use that. Oh geez, what happened? I should have stuck with what I got. Okay. There. Back up. Yeah. Okay, that's good enough. So I'm going to go hide that back down here. And typically I just use my other monitor for the preview window, but I'm only showing one monitor in this video, so I'll just keep it down here. As you can see, the camera is here in the cinematic. I can select it, change its field of view to like 100. That'll zoom it out a little bit more. Maybe I want it to be more up close, maybe like 60. And that's more like if you were doing a first-person view, but we're just doing regular 90s fine for now. And let's see. After we've got our camera set up, I'm going to drop in some guys. So I'll select actor. Oh, that's interesting. I must have suspected heist was coming. So that didn't work and it crashed. So I will go ahead and start that part over. And we're back with a new cinematic. You know, that stuff happens with the cinematic editor. It's not the friendliest tool sometimes, but it's still pretty cool, so I'll forgive it this time. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start setting up the scene because this isn't that interesting. Actually, before I do that real quick, I'm just gonna go ahead and just save it and as it is, and then try it in the game. And Builder did update that, so just go ahead and launch the game and see if that worked. Yep, and there it is. This is the new view that I selected, and loading the map, and everything looks good. So we'll go ahead and get back to the cinematic and make it a little more interesting. So what I want to do is drop in, I think I just want the vault to be hiding in the background because it's a cool model, and you know, it gives a little bit of a objective. Go ahead and do the vault model and move that back here. This isn't really necessary in the tutorial, but you know, it's good to show a little bit of what the cinematic editor is all about. So I've got my prop in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop some dudes in there as well. Move this down here. Oh, I'm having a bit of a issue here. I have to restart the cinematic editor. If ever you see your gizmo flying off, you're gonna want to save as soon as possible and then reopen the cinematic editor. And now I have this random actor down in the bottom that I need to delete. So I guess I'll just start that again. Typically that happens if your mouse moves off of the screen, out of like the active viewport while you're moving a gizmo, and that happens when it's just a little laggy, which might be because I'm recording, but anyway, just if you ever see that, just restart the cinematic editor. Okay, so let's load a model and players. Start with the operator, and he's in this little goofy regular pose, and I don't know, let's just have him against the wall. And what I want to do is set it on animation. So there's this button here which sets events. I'm going to play an animation where he is idling, and I leave it at playback rate at 100, and he's going to stand there and idle, and then he'll hit the end of the cinematic. And the way the cinematic works is that it only plays, in this case it would play 100 frames and then loop back from the beginning. So you would see a hitch here because even though the idle animation does loop, it doesn't loop in exactly 100 frames. So what you could do, and what I did with the regular main menu for Fauche, is I changed the playback rate to 0, which basically means that it's playing at 0 speed and it's not animating at all. So he's just kind of in a pose, and that'll probably work better in this than it did outside, because outside it was raining, or at least the scrolling texture in the background was moving, so it looked kind of weird that they were just standing still. But anyway, here's my dude. He's just kind of standing there. We're gonna copy him a couple times and get some more dudes in there. Or, you know, let's just change this to a guard, because I didn't do any of the guards in there. And that'll be players, enemies, guard. So the little security guy, it looks a little more like wood than plasticky. And I'm also going to bring in a different model, which isn't in the game. It didn't make it, but I did model it. And by model it, I mean this is basically just the physics representation of the characters. So it's not, I didn't actually create any new models. This is just what it looks like for the ragdoll to compute. So yeah, he's actually really hard to see. Maybe we'll drop a light in there. Yeah, a really big bright light like that. It's probably a bad idea. So we'll put put a light kind of on the wall. Actually, let's make it a spotlight like this. I'm gonna rotate it, and then turn off rotate snaps, or let's make it 5, and then rotate it down. And then I'm going to change the color to a softer color, so it's not so harsh. And take the intensity down to, like a 3. And I don't know, we even see that still. It's not so bad. It's casting shadows, which is cool. And I think I'm going to add another prop right there. I'm going to add the alarm. Models, props, alarm, normal. And we're just going to put that right on the wall, so you can kind of see that this is a secured area for no tomfoolery and definitely no heisting. Alright. And I want to put in a monitor, but I don't really have anything to put it on right now, and I don't want to bother with that, so we'll just go ahead and you know, this is just adding cool stuff from your mod into the background. This isn't really important. I should probably get to the next step in a minute, but I'm having too much fun with this, so we'll put in the briefcase, because you need the briefcase. And we're going to put that over here, kind of leaning up against the wall. Maybe a little like this. Like not even in the vault. Like they don't even care. They're just daring you to get it. Alright. And yeah, it looks kind of silly, but it's just an example. So yeah, if I wanted to, I can make, you can make these guys do any sort of animation. And if you notice in the docking, not docking, the descent background that is currently in the vanilla NS2, there's a drone that kind of moves around in the background. He's on a very long animation cycle, so the animations, or so the cinematic itself is like, it was like 3,000 frames or something. So if you wanted to have a long animation like that, you would just need to change your number of frames to whatever, and that would work. So yeah, not to get too much into the cinematic editor here, because I can do other tutorials for that, but we'll go ahead and save this and just check it out in the game. And it does this weird thing where it doesn't load the animations right away. There are ways to fix that, and this actually looks really bad because of the way I have this glare on the TVs, like right in this guy's face. But we'll just keep it as it is for this example, and then go back to the original version for the mod itself. But okay, so we've got the cinematic set up. That was really easy, right? Now all you need to do is, well, you can stop there if you want, but I suggest that you probably at least change the title of your mod. This little icon on the top here, way you would want to do that is find, oh, this is my Natural Selection 2 directory here, my Steam Natural Selection 2 directory, and in there you can find all of the DDS files, and here I'm going into UI menu, and there's all of these DDS files. You can, if you have the right program, you can convert them into Photoshop files. There's a free plugin for Photoshop that does that. and you're going to need to do that too. You need to convert these to Photoshop files so that you can build them into new DDS files, or use another program that creates DDS files. And what you want to do is take logo.dds, and I don't actually have that plugin installed because I don't use that. I use the Photoshop source files because I'm cool like that. So I have those here already set up for me. Yep. And you can see here, well, I didn't actually make this one. That was done by, I think, our mapper, Insane. And you can see the normal background. This is what it normally looks like, natural selection 2. This is the one that I did temporarily because it was we only had a few days to do all this stuff. So yeah, the heist is very simple. And then he created this one, which is pretty cool. And it's also important that you have your alpha channel match your text. So if your alpha channel is not set up correctly, then you're not going to. Actually, I think his is a little off. Yeah, you can see how it's a little off here, and that happens in Photoshop. So I'm just going to align that and save this, and that should automatically build. I did not, so I will hit build, and there we go. Now I've created a new DDS file for my Photoshop file, and we'll see what that looks like in the game. And yeah, I think there was a little black outline that wasn't supposed to be there, but that should be fixed now. So that's the basics of what you should do if you wanted to make a main menu mod. The next step would be to create well, yeah, there's a few other ones that I changed that are pretty simple to have an effect. This TV glare one, which I basically just took a picture of obviously a TV, and I found it on the internet, and cropped it, and then set up the alpha channel. The alpha channel just looks basically like this, very simple. I think actually I want to change this because we want to do, what I want to do is I'd actually want to make that outline just black. That way, well, you'll see. Let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm gonna fill in this with black, and then in my alpha I want to fill that in with white. And what that'll do is it'll let all of the black through, since I have my alpha channel as pure white. So let's see if that works. Let's see, that build, and then launch the game. And yeah, see, now I have this black TV shaped border. It does have some aliasing problems, but you know, it's just a mod. So that's cool. The next thing that I did is I added this noise texture, and you can't really see it as well on this, but all I did was just change the grid texture to a noise. So that's not it. Yeah, these guys here. So this grid is now, it used to be this, now it's this. So it's just little creative things that can change your main menu. What was the other thing I did? The scan line went from this blue scan line to this white stripe scan line. That's sort of to represent a television or VCR, you know, those tape lines that go through the TV on an old TV, for those who had old TVs. And let's just look at it one more time. And you can see the noise. You can barely see it, but that's just because it's so orange right now. And the scan line is a little different, and it's also running faster, and that's something that I had to do in the CSS file. So we're going to go ahead and find that right now and edit that as well. So let's close and go back to natural selection 2, which I think is not there. This one. And then we want to go into Lua and find the menu folder, and we want to change main menu cascading style sheet. Alright, so this is what the natural selection 2 one looks like. Then I'll go ahead and open up the one I have, which I had never actually edited these before, so I was just having fun with it for the mod jam. And you can see how that's pretty much the only file I have in that folder that gets overwritten. And there's some slight differences. It's still using the same textures, and you can see that some of the colors have changed. So basically I just looked up whatever this one was, and I think this was like the blue, and I just found all of the blues in, doing just find replace, and changed it to these F's, which is a white, and changed all of these to these, which is a gray. And Max already had a font in the folder. I think he had put it in like the night before. This is for Army one, and that is what he used for the names on the chest of the characters in the Fauche. And so I decided to use that for the font in the game, because why not? And if you notice, there's actually like 2 or 3 different sizes of the font. There's like mediums, there's small and large in the regular natural selection 2 version. So I basically went in there and replaced everything. I think I even missed a few, again using the replace all feature. Yeah, here's agency tiny. I don't think I changed that, or agency medium, but I can do that if we decided to make any more updates. Yeah, there's a lot of little things like, let's find the scan line. This is the scan line. And this shows where the logo goes. You can actually change positioning of this to find out, if you want a different place. If you notice in the last stand mod, they have a different location for it. The logo, they probably just move these coordinates around a little bit. And for the scan line, I wanted mine to move a little faster, so I changed the time to 1. I think here the scan line, I found the other one really quick, and I have to find this one again. The scan line, I have to actually use the keyboard here. Yeah, here we go. The scan line time is 4, so it takes 4 seconds for it to go from top to bottom. Here I just changed it to make 1 second. And you can change like the opacity. I think I made mine a little darker so it's easier to see. And mess around with stuff like that if you want. I think one important thing to not mess around with is if you are changing any of these, try and leave mods in one way or the other, because if you don't include this and your mod gets loaded, then there's really no way for someone to unload your mod without like deleting it from, which you don't want them to have to do. So leave mods in there, and you can see it changed all the fonts there too, and that way someone can go in and disable it if they wanted to. So I think that's everything that I wanted to go over. Oh, there's one last thing, and you notice I don't have the news ticker, and that's because Brian helped me with getting that removed. And I'll go ahead and show you a quick tutorial on how to do that. So what I want to do is I want to open up pretty much the only thing you need to do is add into the menu folder this GUI main menu news, which you can find a copy of in the natural selection 2 Lua directory. And basically the only thing you need to do is change this to false and comment out this one. Changing this to false is basically just sets the visibility of this container to false, so it doesn't render. And this is just another case where it will show up. It will actually set it to visible when you like switch between different screens. So if you disable this, then that won't ever be enabled. So once you've saved that and you've saved it into your menu folder, your source folder for the mod jam, or for your mod, and make sure that gets built to the output folder, which it already has been built, so I don't have to worry about that. See how it's existing in there, and the CSS file is also in there. Then you should be good to go and good to publish. So once you've done all that, you can go ahead and publish. And I think Brian's the one who, other Brian is the one who publishes Fauche, so I wouldn't actually be able to overwrite his stuff. But anyway, that's pretty much the entire tutorial. So hopefully that was helpful to you. And yeah, if you have any questions about this, you can email me at brian@unknownworlds.com, or find me on the modding forums, or just reply to this video, and I'll try and reply to everything. Alright, thank you very much. Have a good one.